I got a question for Kathy that she won't be able to answer honestly. Why was I taking vacations with your family and not my sister's? Huh? Can you explain that in a way that writes off my parents' abuse the way that you've been trying to write off my parents' abuse my whole life? Because everybody in this family knows that I lived with Meemaw the majority of the time because my mom and dad were abusive. Everybody in the family has known that. But then when I grew up, suddenly the abusive part vanished and it was just, well, Mary lives with Meemaw because she's lazy and stupid and she just wants to cry all the time. That's not the truth though, is it, Kathy? If that's the truth, right, if I'm just a bitch. I just like to cry and make problems for everybody. Right? That's your theory? Okay. So, why were my sisters not invited to Stone Mountain? Why were my sisters not invited to Disneyland? Why were my sisters not invited to Universal? Why did my sisters never once go on vacation with us, Kathy? Do you know why? They didn't live with Meemaw. Do you know why I'm the only one that did live with Meemaw? Because my parents were abusive and us children got divided up. I went to Meemaw. The other grandparents got Jennifer. The neighborhood took Nikki in. And poor little Ronnie was just there. So if you're going to talk about what a spoiled, selfish child I was, when you went on vacation with me, with your children, why don't you explain to people why I was separated from my siblings at that time and why my siblings didn't go on vacation with us? See, you can't. You can't explain that and keep your little world view that there was nothing going on. Because it doesn't make sense. Does it? It doesn't make sense that they would separate one child for absolutely no reason and treat that one child differently for absolutely no reason. Why was I going on vacation with you, Kathy? Why was I with you and your children and not with my parents and my sisters? Why? Why? Why did you believe I was going on vacation with you and your children instead of staying with my own parents and my own siblings if my own family was so loving and caring and perfect and good? The reason that you know, the reason that we all know, is because my parents were abusive and I was taken in by my grandmother so that she could try to protect me as much as she could. And it fucked your life up because that meant that you had to hang out with your sister's child who was being abused. And you had to put up with all of the retarded shit that that child went through because she was being abused. And you didn't want to deal with it because you were trying to ignore the fact that your little sister was being abused so badly that one of her children was born handicapped due to it. You didn't want to accept that. You don't want to lay at home at night and think about the fact that your little sister was having her face punched in at that moment that you were laying there sleeping. You didn't want to think about that, did you? You didn't want to know that. You didn't want to ever accept that that was a reality. That was my fucking reality, Kathy. That was the reality for my mother. And you know it. And you ignored it and you denied it so that you wouldn't have to live with the fact that you didn't do anything to protect your own little sister or her children. You're going to spend the rest of my life mocking me and putting me down for things that happened to me when I was a child that was being abused, without ever acknowledging the fact that I was being abused.